ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we are discussing from chapter 2, verse number 11. So yesterday we began this verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asocyananuvasocastvam pragyavadam shabhasase gatasuna shananusochanti pandita. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So this is the first verse, actually, which Krishna started speaking to give enlightenment to Arjuna. Before this, Lord Krishna spoke two verses in the beginning of the second chapter, but that was more or less when Arjuna had not actually surrendered to Krishna. So in just a friendly manner, Krishna chastised a little bit to Arjuna, saying that what kind of nonsense you are talking? Huh? Are you a woman? And Krishna said, you are a man, Baba. You should fight. Why are you lamenting like this? Especially you are a great Kshatriya warrior, and seeing your relatives and friends and you are crying. Huh? So like this, Krishna chastised him. He said, "Kutastva kosmalamidam," where from this miserly weakness you have acquired, my dear Arjuna. So you should fight. You are a great Kshatriya. That's all. In a friendly manner, he chastised him. But Arjuna, he gave two more reasons why he doesn't want to fight, and then finally he became completely confused. And in verse number 7 and 8, he completely surrenders to Krishna and he says, "Now I'm no more your friend. I become your disciple. Disciple means now I'm ready to be disciplined by you. Disciplined by you means whatever the spiritual master says, I must follow, even if I don't like it." That is why in the Guru Vandana we sing, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chiteta Korya Ekya Arana Kare Manasa. That is the meaning of full surrender. Full surrender means in the daytime, if the spiritual master says, no, this is night, then the disciple must agree and say and accept that, yes, this is night. One may say, oh, this is blind faith, blind following. Yes, blind following and blind faith has been condemned in the scriptures. But but if somebody can get a bona fide spiritual master, a 100% bona fide spiritual master, pure devotee, then one must blind follow him. So before accepting a spiritual master, the Shastras allows one to examine the spiritual master. That is allowed. Uh, Before accepting somebody as your guide or a spiritual mentor or a spiritual master, you can examine. You may take time, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years. That is up to you. You may examine whatever teachings, whether the teachings which he is giving, whether it is a scriptural teaching, whether it is as per it is according to the previous bona fide spiritual masters. And if it is so, then the second level of examination is that you can test his character also, whether whatever he is speaking, whether he is following or not, his character is okay or not. That can also be examined. That is allowed. There is no offense in that. That is required. That scriptures say us that we should not blindly accept anybody as our mentor or spiritual master or guru. as a matter of just as a matter of fashion. Simply because somebody has become very famous, somebody is very eloquent speaker, or somebody is very attractive, charming, dynamic personality, that does not make him a bona fide spiritual master or guru. So, Shastras, according to the scriptures, Shastras direction, one should examine by hearing to him, by seeing his lifestyle, by observing his behavior, and by seeing the result, how he himself has transformed himself and others in the course of his preaching activities. So, if after examining in this manner, if we come to this conclusion, if we understand through all the verifications, if we understand that yes, he is a perfectly right person, perfectly, completely a pure devotee, fully established in the conclusions of the scriptures. So then we must fully surrender, and then we must blindly follow. So we give all the opportunity that one can come to ISKCON and examine the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. And there is no doubt at all that Srila Prabhupada's teachings is 100% as per accordance with the scriptures and the instructions of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And we can see Srila Prabhupada himself, he followed these teachings throughout his life, and he himself was a pure devotee, 100% pure-hearted devotee, great soul, great personality. And and through his preaching work, he transformed many thousands of people. And his teachings are also completely as per the instructions of the Shastras. That's why Bhagavad Gita as it is. Whatever Krishna says, whatever Krishna has instructed, Srila Prabhupada has taught that. Krishna said, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Surrender unto me. A pure devotee, spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, he teaches the same thing, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All of you must surrender to Krishna. That is the symptom of a pure devotee, spiritual master. So, we can take the time. We should go through the scriptures written by Srila Prabhupada. We can come to ISKCON, meet with the devotees who are followers of Srila Prabhupada. And any genuine follower who is actually a follower of Srila Prabhupada, he must also exhibit the symptoms or teachings imparted by Srila Prabhupada. So in this way, we can get convinced, yes, these teachings are working. Yes, those who are actually following the instructions given by Srila Prabhupada in his books, and whatever system Srila Prabhupada has designed in ISKCON, whoever is sincerely following, they are becoming free from Maya. That means these teachings are working. So why not me? If I also accept him as my spiritual master and follow his instructions, then I will also become free from Maya. So once this is convinced, if one is convinced about this, then one must fully surrender to such a spiritual master, and one must be ready to blindly follow whatever he says. If he says, yes, you must chant early in the morning, must get up early in the morning, then we should try our hard, our best to rise early in the morning and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Srila Prabhupada, if he says you must follow four regulatory principles, then no question. Why we should not, we should follow. I can follow three regulatory principles. Uh, I cannot follow this fourth one or third one or second one or first one. No, then we should blindly follow that, because whatever instructions the great acharyas give to us, those instructions are very, very valuable, very, very helpful to us to advance in Krishna consciousness. So anyone who sincerely follows those instructions to the degree of following them, those instructions blindly, they progress, they advance very smoothly, very fastly in Krishna consciousness. So Arjuna also finally surrendered to Krishna, and he told Krishna that I accept you as my spiritual master and I become your disciple. So disciple means now whatever you instruct, I will follow those instructions. So kindly enlighten me in the matter of transcendental knowledge. I will follow. So as soon as Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, so when Krishna started speaking, he did not speak like giving some sympathy or to Arjuna to console him. Arjuna was crying. He was crying, he was perspiring, his entire body was shivering. So much anxiety. Krishna did not sit beside Arjuna and put his hand on his shoulder and tried to console him, my dear Arjuna, don't worry, everything will be all right. No, nothing was all right because Arjuna's heart was afflicted with ignorance. So Krishna, acting like a best spiritual master, like a doctor, he operated the heart. Immediately he chastised him. The very first thing, in this first verse, Krishna told Arjuna that although Arjuna, you are talking like a great learned person, but you are a fool number one. Just imagine. Immediately, the very first instruction Krishna gave to Arjuna, he said, you are a fool number one. First of all, you accept this fact that you are a fool number one. Although Pragya Vadamsha Bhasase, you talk so many nonsense. You are talking such big words. Uh, while speaking learned words, Krishna is saying, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Why? Why Krishna considered Arjuna to be a fool number one? Why? Because Pragya Vadamsha Bhasase, although he was giving so many reasons, scriptural reasons, logical reasons, but still Krishna considered Arjuna to be not at all learned. Fool number one. Why? Because asocyan anvasochastam. Asocyan means not worthy of lamentation. Socian means something which to be lamented over. There are something in our life, we should lament a lot for those things, for loss of those things. And there are something in our life, we should not at all lament for those things. So, Sochyan, Anvasochastvam. Although you are Anvasochas means you are lamenting for Asochyan. Something which should not be lamented over, you are lamenting over that thing. That's why you are full number one. Asochyan and Vasochastam. So now what are those things upon which we should not lament? Anything material should not be lamented. Anything material. Whether this material body, our material position, material wealth, material connection with people in this world, so-called connection, relationships with our friends and relatives, and so-called material success and failure, all these things are unworthy for our lamentation. Why? Because anything material, whether material object, material people, material relationships, material places, circumstances, everything is temporary and everything is going to get destroyed. Ultimately, we have to leave everything in very short time, not very long duration of time. You may say, I will be living for 70 years, 80 years, 90 years. This is nothing. Not even a fraction of second in front of demigod's lifetime. With this short span of life of 50, 60, 70 years will just pass away like anything. Within few moments, it will pass. Don't you remember? Now you have become 25 years old, 30 years old, 35 years old. But you were a small kid also. Sometime before, you were playing with your other kids. You are going to school. Then you went to college, completed your college. Now you are running after to get some job, and after that you will get married and you will have children. Then their schooling, college, and their marriage. In this way, all these things will pass like anything. Few years before, Corona was there. Uh, Corona period just passed, just few time before, but that is this now 2025 has come. So 2019 Corona came. 6 years passed like anything. Don't we realize that 6 years have passed like anything? Now 60 years will also pass like this. So why to lament over those things, those material things? So neither we should lament for the loss of material things, material objects, material relationships, material people, material attachments, nor we should become so jubilant, excessively happy to get some material success, material things in our life. Both of these things are unworthy to attract our attention. The only worthy object of our attraction is the spiritual aspect of our life, the Supreme Lord Krishna. If at all we have to lament, we should lament that I have wasted my life. I have wasted so much of my time in separation of Krishna. Without doing bhajan, I have unnecessarily wasted my time. Every day we pass day after day as soon as the sun rises and after some time the sun sets. Uh, so that is a great loss if we lose those time without remembrance of Krishna. And that will be a great gain if we utilize that particular period of time from early morning sunrise to sunset. If we can utilize it in any way in the service of Krishna, in remembrance of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So that is the only gain we get. So each day, day after day is passing away from our life and we are dying. Every day we are actually dying. That's why we say we are 32 years old, 50 years old, 25 years old, 21 years old. 21 years old means you are you have died 21 years. You have your lifespan of 21 years have been taken away by Maya. That is the meaning of a person who is having age 21 years, 25 years, 28 years, 30 years. The life has taken this much life. So why to waste another time duration, which is so asocyan. That is the meaning of asocyan. Means these things should not be lamented over. But Arjuna is lamenting. That's why he's a fool. He's a fool number one. Anyway, that's why according to the calculation of the Supreme Lord, version of the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is telling this verse, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Sri Bhagavan Vacha means the Supreme Personality of Godhead is saying, it doesn't matter, Pragya Vadam Shabhasase. One may be very learned, great scholar. One may be BTech, MTech, PhD, or in for that matter, any material position. One may be a very great, very rich person, a millionaire, billionaire, and one may be very famous personality, celebrity, big celebrity. One may be having so much material resources, material uh, uh, things in his life, but all these things are doesn't qualify us to become actually learned person. If we are attached to these things, if we are lamenting for those things, then which are asocian, then according to the version of the Supreme Lord, na anusochanti pandit. Such a person is not at all a pandit. Pandit means actually learned person, intelligent person, actually knowledgeable person, and opposite of the pandit is a fool who doesn't know anything. So that's why Krishna is saying Pragyavadamsha bhasase. So although you are talking very great learned words, but still you are not a pandita, you are not a intelligent person. Why? Because gatasun agatasumsha nanu sochanti. Gatasun means asun means life. Gatasun agatasuns. Because those who are actually learned, they do not lament for this body. Yeah, those who are actually wise, lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So gatasun agatasumsha, because that is the nature of this material world. Sometimes this is what Krishna is beginning to instruct in the science of soul. This verse is the beginning, first verse. So Krishna is now gradually Krishna will reveal the real knowledge, real transcendental knowledge, the very first fundamental knowledge in order to enter into spiritual life is that one must understand that he is not this body at all. He is completely aloof from this body. One is not this gross body, and one is also not this subtle body made of mind, intelligence, and ego. One is completely aloof. One is a spirit soul, pure spirit soul, nothing to do with this material things, material attachments, material body, mind, intelligence. So that is our real identity. So that's why this Krishna will compare this body to be like a dress. Just like if we purchase new dress and after using it for some time, this dress becomes old and worn out. Then once the cloth has become old and worn out, who cares for the dress? We immediately we immediately give it up. We immediately throw it away. Nobody laments for the loss of old and worn out dress. Similarly, uh, anyone who is sober, anyone who has complete perfect understanding that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul, and this body is simply a dress, outward dress. So why should I lament over the things which are connected with this material body only? So that is intelligent. That is actually learned. And that person is actually a pandita. So gatasuna gatasumsa nanu sochanti. Sochanti means lamenting. A Pandit, he never laments. He is not anxious. What is the meaning of lamenting? Lamenting means he is not at all anxious. He is not at all agitated. He is not at all distracted over the change of the material body. That means, although there may be changes in terms of material things, and that those changes may affect us also. It's not that with these changes, material changes will not affect us, because that is the nature of this material world, and we are so much connected with this material body. We are living in this material world. So definitely, whatever material changes happens with us while living in this material world, those things are going to affect us. There is no doubt about it. And that will be, Krishna will clear this thing in the verse number 14, where Krishna will say, yes, my dear Arjuna, I accept, because you have accepted this material body. So definitely, you get affected by the changes of material things, material circumstances. But you should be acting on the platform of transcendental knowledge. You should not get disturbed. All the disturbances will come, that the pain of separation from some of our material relatives because of excessive material attachments. When our heart is affected by some kind of attachment for any person in this world, so as soon as we get separated, there will be pain. Krishna accepted that. But what you should do, you should situate yourself in the platform of transcendental knowledge and try to tolerate those pain. One must tolerate, one must learn to tolerate. This is what Krishna is saying in this verse number 14, which we'll discuss when we'll come to this verse in more detail. So Krishna says, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, ocean of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. What is the meaning of learning to tolerate without being disturbed? That we'll discuss in the coming classes. But the point here is that although the disturbances, pains, and pleasures in terms of body may come, but actually, who is a learned person, he does not lament over it. That means he does not get bewildered, and he does not get distracted from his actual duty, performance of his actual duty. That is the meaning of becoming Pandita. That is the meaning of not lamenting over the material things. So these things will be covered gradually as we progress ahead in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Purport Srila Prabhupada says, the Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool. The Lord said, you are talking like a learned man, but you do not know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition. That is the symptom of actually a learned person. So as explained in the latter chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both. This is the actual meaning of knowledge. Knowledge means one knows what is matter, that means what is this material body, material world, and what is spirit, spirit soul, and who is the controller of both matter and spirit. So one who knows these three things, he is actually knowledgeable person. He has actually knowledge. So whatever we learn in modern school and college, and that is not actually knowledge. That is all ignorance, because they keep us always in ignorance about the real nature of material world, real nature of spirit soul, and there is no discussion at all about the controller of both the matter and spirit. That's why in modern schools and colleges are not actually the places of learning, the places where one gets knowledge, but actually modern school and colleges are places of where ignorance is provided. Instead of knowledge, ignorance is provided. And, uh, and that's why Srila Prabhupada said these modern schools and colleges, it is like a slaughterhouse. This is slaughterhouse. Modern schools and colleges are slaughterhouses where innocent children are killed. Their spiritual life is killed. That is the meaning of slaughter. because a child, 4-year-old child, enters into this slaughterhouse, and as soon as he comes out of this college, schools and colleges, after 20 years, 21 years, 25 years, he becomes a first class animal. That means his human birth has been killed. He was born human, but these modern schools and colleges made him first class animal. That's why this is slaughterhouse. What is the meaning of first class animal? Animal means to follow the animalistic propensity. The animal naturally has the inclination to enjoy his senses. That is the meaning of animal. Ahar nidra bhai maithunam cha samanya vedat pashubi naran. An animal is naturally attracted to enjoy sense gratification, and it cannot avoid sense gratification. So that is the meaning of being animal. But being human means one must control the urges of sense gratification. Anyone who can control the urges of the senses, he is actually a human. Otherwise, he is no better than animal. So now, according to this calculation, if you see anyone who is getting out of schools and colleges, they become first class animal because they cannot control their senses. They only run after sense gratification. Even if you catch them and tell them, instruct them in the science of transcendental knowledge, they are unable to accept it because they have already been killed. They are not at all human being. A human being is supposed to understand the truth and supposed to follow the instructions of the scriptures. That is actually human being. But animal cannot follow those instructions. That's why these modern schools and colleges are compared to slaughterhouses. If they do not teach the science of devotional service, if they do not teach anything about the knowledge, philosophy, real philosophy of spiritual life, of course, material knowledge can be given. We are not against the material science, material knowledge. That was provided during Vedic education system also. In Gurukul, there used to be this mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and medical science, and arts, commerce, business, martial arts. All this knowledge was provided, but these things were provided along with the real knowledge, the knowledge about the spiritual life. Then, so that's why in our schools and colleges, if we add this spiritual knowledge also, then it will become perfect. Then it will not be a slaughterhouse. But if you only provide the ignorance, how to become a first class animal, how to become perfect sense enjoyer, then that is actually slaughterhouse because it's killing the human birth. That's why real knowledge, the symptom of real knowledge is that one who has clear knowledge about the matter, spirit, and the controller of both. So Arjuna argued that religious principle should be given more importance than politics and sociology. But he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and supreme is even more important than religious formalities. And because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man. As he did not happen to be a very learned man, he was consequently lamenting for something which was unworthy of lamentation. The body is born and is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned, and for him there is no cause for lamentation regardless of the condition of the material. That is a symptom of real learned person, a real knowledgeable person, that he does not lament over the changes of body and he is concerned about the welfare of his eternal self, which is the spirit self, the spirit soul. Okay. Thank you very much. With this, we'll stop. If you have any questions, you can ask. Hare Krishna.
आज आपके दोनों टॉक बहुत अच्छे लगे मुझे। मतलब वैसे तो
This is
सारे
not
ही
my
अच्छे होते
talk.
हैं, पर आज बहुत अच्छे लगे। प्रभु जी।
भगवान का talk है. Lord Krishna is speaking in straightforward way. We are just trying to repeat it for your benefit.
हाँ, हाँ। और प्रभु जी, प्रश्न ये था कि हम ना चाहते हुए भी अगर कोई सैम्पल टेस्ट फेल हो जाती है, यानी अपने कारण नहीं, दूसरों के कारण, एक्सटर्नल सर्कमस्टांसेस के कारण,
No, that
तब
cannot be. We fail because of
नहीं
our
मतलब
lacking.
नहीं नहीं प्रभु जी,
It's,
मतलब कैसे कि हम अच्छा करने जा रहे हैं पर बुरा हो रहा है,
no, no,
तो
that
हमारा ही फेलियर
cannot
हुआ
be.
है ना।
We fail because of our lacking. Just like if a student he is giving exam, if he is failing, he cannot say
Uh-huh.
The fault is of teacher. Teacher is faulty because he gave me
Okay.
very complicated question. I could not understand. I
Right.
failed. No, you did not prepare properly. That's why you failed in the exam. So we should
Right.
accept defeat.
Okay.
And if we come
Uh-huh.
in front of Maya and if we get failed, that means we
Uh-huh.
cannot find fault in
Oh,
others. We are faulty.
okay.
So we should accept, yes, I have
Mhm.
lacking. This is my lacking.
Uh-huh.
So now I should put full endeavor to become properly situated in spiritual life so that no matter whatever conditions come in our life, I may handle it, I may pass the test. Because
Right.
if we
पर
blame
वही
others, if we
सेपरेटिस्ट
blame external circumstances, if we blame Maya, then we'll never progress. If a student he only blames teacher, then how he can expect to progress? He must
बिल्कुल
accept that I could not prepare properly. Then there will be hope of progressing ahead.
प्रभु
Is
जी
it clear?
पर ऐसा कई बार होता है
No,
कि
is
वही
this
सैम्पल
clear to
टेस्ट
you?
हमें दोबारा देने को नहीं मिलता.
No, doesn't matter. Sample test, let the different varieties of sample test come. Doesn't matter. Just like I'll give you my example. When I was preparing for IIT, so IIT exams are very toughest, one of the toughest exams in the world.
यस
So
प्रभु जी.
we were trained, we prepared like this. That doesn't matter what kind of question will come. We cannot blame that question as very difficult question. No, we have to clear our concept very nicely. All the concepts of mathematics, physics, chemistry, and then let the toughest question come. We'll handle it. So that is actually positive spirit. Similarly, in life also, let Maya come in any way. We have to become prepared. So of course, if we are not so advanced, we are weak. So we have to externally avoid the situations which may make us fall down. But in any situation, we cannot blame Maya. We cannot blame other people. We cannot blame circumstances. But we have to take responsibility of our own because it is we who have choose to come to this material world. And we are the only person which we have performed that kind of previous karma in our previous lives because of which we are put in such kind of situations. So we should not blame. Rather, we should find out the way how we can prepare nicely through the proper association of devotees, through the intense sadhana and bhajan and scriptural knowledge so that we can overcome the situation.
और
Is it
कोई
clear?
क्वेश्चन स्किप कर दिए तो प्रभु जी ऐसा ऑप्शन होता है.
Yes, yes, as option hai. You can escape. You can come directly to brahmacharya also. That is the best option. Escape all Maya. But still there will be Maya.
ओके.
Maya will
ओके.
always be there because Maya is not outside, Maya is inside. Okay. But still, that is the
ट्रू.
safest way. Okay. Hare Krishna.
ब्यूटीफुल. धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु जी.